Next, let's look at the triple safe pumping system. The triple safe is the most advanced sump pump system in the world. What you notice first is that the liner and lids are a figure 8 shape. This allows 3 pumps to fit in without having to dig a hole that is twice the size of a super sump liner. In fact, a super sump is 18 gallons, and the triple safe liner is only 4 gallons more at 22 gallons. So that the sump liner does not go out of shape when you backfill it, we've incorporated a bridge to hold the liner apart at its waist. In addition, the bridge serves to align the pumps in just the right position so the switches, which are very close to each other, don't get hung up on each other, which is critical. The lids are identical when molded, so you can put either half on either side. One side of the lid features our airtight floor drain, and the other has a hole for the electric cords and grommet. For the Water Watch alarm hole, you can punch out one of 4 round knockouts to drop the alarm into. The triple safe lid has 2 other knockouts for a Sand-and-Dry hose, which are ovals, so you can lay the hose in at an angle. If we look at the triple safe pumping equipment, we can see there are 3 pumps. One side is basically the same as a super sump with the ultra sump, and the other side has an additional half horsepower Zoller AC pump, model number M98. The M53 is the primary pump and does most of the pumping. If this pump fails, then the half horsepower backup pump will automatically take over as the water rises to its operating range. If the water continues to rise because the power is out, then the ultra sump will take over. Some have asked why the M53 1/3 horsepower is the primary pump instead of the more powerful M98 half horsepower pump. The answer is that the 3rd horsepower pump is quieter for daily operation. This is not only because of the pump itself, but because of the water running through the discharge pipe, which is what most of the sound from our pumps is from. The bigger pump pushes more feet per minute of water through the pipe. In other words, the water is moving faster with a bigger pump, so it makes more noise. In addition, at the end of the pipe, the water will shoot out faster with the larger pump running all the time, which makes it more noticeable in the yard and causes more erosion. For these reasons, we use the M53 as the first pump in a triple safe system. With that being said, it is possible to put 2 M98s in a triple safe if more capacity was needed. Having 3 pumps in one sump liner is tight for another reason. The water depth causes the float switches to rise and fall to turn the pumps on and off. When we put multiple pumps in the same hole, we have to make sure that pump 1 is first to turn on, and that pump 2 does not turn on before pump 1 does. The same is true for pump 2 relative to pump 3. The triple safe solves this problem with an arrangement of clean pump stands. The pump operating ranges are: the M53 primary pump will turn on at 9 1/4 inches of water and shut off at 5 inches of water, which will pump out about 3.5 gallons, not including the water sitting in the stone outside the sump liner because the liner has holes in it. The M98 pump will turn on at 13.5 inches of water and turn off when the water is down to 7 inches. If the primary pump cannot keep up with a very heavy volume of water, then both the primary and secondary pumps will run at the same time. And since there is 2 discharge lines, you'll get over double the water out. The ultra sump will turn on at 16.5 inches deep and turn off 4 seconds after the switch begins to go down, usually at about 13 inches deep. Clean pump stands are designed to elevate the pumps off the bottom of the sump liner so that the pump doesn't sit in the mud and stones that may wash into the sump liner. It's important to try to keep the check valve on your pump clean. If a pump was pumping muddy water out of a sump hole, when the pump turns off, the silt in the vertical pipe would settle on top of the check valve flap. Sometimes it'll get flushed out in the next pump cycle, but depending on the frequency of the cycles and the type of sediment that it is, it may build up in the pipe on top of the check valve. We've seen a column of mud on top of a check valve 6 inches thick, which completely clogged the discharge line and caused a flood. So the clean pump stands serve to elevate the pumps over any silt and sediment. In a triple safe system, however, they also serve to position the pumps properly vertically so they can go on and off at the right time. The M53 and the Ultra Sump that is piggyback on it are set on one clean pump stand. The M98 is set on two clean pump stands stacked on top of each other. Clean pump stands can be used to adjust the height of the pumps in a sump liner. For example, if you wanted to get the pumps deeper to try to lower the water level under a floor. If there was lots of leaking floor cracks, for example, then you could remove the clean pump stand in a super sump, or remove two of them in a triple safe, the one under the M53 and one of the pump stands under the M98. If a pump was running a lot and the homeowner was complaining about the sound or the amount of water in their yard, you could raise the pump in a super sump by adding a second clean pump stand.